My name is Brianna Curl, and I will be your moderator for today's webinar on transitioning from Mentor Paths layout to OrCAD PCB Editor. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, please type them in the questions panel as they come up. We will have representatives ready to answer your questions directly during the webinar. With that being said, I want to thank you all for joining us for today's webinar and introduce you to our presenter, Jeff Keister. Jeff is a field applications engineer with over 40 years of experience in the printed circuit board field. His focus is on OrCAD Allegro, CIS, CIP, and CAD Sync. Assuming we have time at the end, we will field some questions in a formal Q&A. Thank you for your attention, and now over to you, Jeff.
Thanks, Brianna. I want to thank everybody for attending today. A little bit about my background. I worked for Mentor for 14 years. I now currently work for EMA, selling OrCAD and Cadence products. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the Cadence transition from pads to OrCAD or Allegro products. And I've got a little agenda that we'll talk about. Who'll be first, some problem solutions that we can identify. I'm also going to talk about the OrCAD Cadence Difference as I'm showing features and capabilities of the tool. And then at the end there, we're going to talk about the translation from pads to OrCAD. I'll show you how that works, and then we'll answer some questions. First things is, who will be first? Everyone is racing to create something new, but only one team can be first, and what team's going to be able to deliver. So one of the first things is we need to create confidence, and putting simulation and analysis results in the supply chain for data that engineers have at their fingertips is very important to be able to have. Reliability design starts with reliable parts. Engineers want to be able to choose the right part for their designs, be able to filter out information on their spreadsheets. Engineers to be able to perform part analysis before even placing the parts on the design. Very important. Cost-effective performance design means more of an innovative design tasks need to be taken. Advanced simulation, pre-route analysis should be given to engineers so that they can create new and high-performance designs. You also have front-to-back integration. Schematics need to be able to plan to build something bigger. Schematic capture and PCB layout design engineers can seamlessly collaborate with simulation tools, being able to cross-probe with those tools. So having front-to-back integration is very important. Managing constraints, defining limitations up front to shorten design cycles and reduce errors. Design reuse and variance. Reuse is existing as a proven design of IP to get designs done faster and ensure functionality. Cross-probing is very important, being able to quickly find components on a board, be in your schematics, be in your simulation tools, or your editing tools, which is very important that we can design, being able to cross-probe in all those functions. Create and manage libraries is also important for engineers. Quickly and accurately generate schematic symbols to manage their libraries. And then also easily generate design documentation for layout, placement design, and manufacturing. So with all these, you'll be able to design very quickly with our tools, and hopefully you'll be the first one to release your product into the market. Back and front integration also is important. The Cadence difference is just because you design it, it doesn't mean that it's going to work, and it doesn't mean that you can build it. So being able to have solutions for these kind of problems are very important. So some of the challenges with high-speed design is ensuring all design inputs are captured and adhered to. You want to make sure you're conforming to physical corresponding electrical constraints, increased in the PCB density, characterization of rigid flex design. We've got miniaturization and manufacturing ability is very important in our high-speed designs. ECAD and NCAD visualization and collaboration, very important, being able to have our PCB products talk to our mechanical products like SolidWorks and Pro-E. Same thing with team collaboration. You know, there's a multi-discipline team to be able to talk to all phases of the design. Definition, creation, and synchronization of the system for multi-board PCB design, and is also important in IC and IC packaging integration. Signal and power optimization, being able to, whether you're doing simulation with SI, PI, EM, or even thermal analysis. So these are all important solutions that we focus on at EMA, and we are dedicated to making them work for our teams. One thing that is nice with the OrCAD users that we've created is a nice integrated ECAD environment, where we do have OrCAD EDM data management that we can offer to our users. We have also PCB Editor, Constraint Management, simulation. We've got CAD Sync that's going to allow us to be able to tie into our SolidWorks tools, Pro-E, and other tools. And then you have a centralized library, which is very important. And we can manage that through our CIS and CIP tools that are available, along with being able to dip into the Silicon Expert tool as well. And you'll have multiple distributors that you're going to be able to work with, not just one distributor like DigiKey. We talk with Mauser and Arrow, Newark and Future, and we're adding new distributors every year. And then also being able to tie into your PLM systems, whether you're using Windchill or Teamcenter or Arena. We can tie all this directly together at EMA. I'm going to talk a little bit about the different functions of the tools that we have. So let's talk a little bit about schematic entry with OrCAD. OrCAD, it's a powerful schematic tool, streamline the creation of complex schematics with hierarchical design and reuse and variant capabilities. We've got component data management that we can accelerate your designs and make the process much quicker at lower cost. Again, we are integrated design flows, so we analyze your designs to meet project goals and achieve first-class success with signal integrity. Multi-PCB tool support is what we have. We make sure that all of our tools, whether you're in a netless flow or an integrated flow, all work together. And we do have an open architect platform, a custom tailored to OrCAD environment to enhance and extend the ability to create custom features, custom solution, custom forms. And then ease of use of productivity. It's very easy to use our tools. We have a very nice online training that we can use. We also have all different kinds of training that are available. So ease of use and the productivity of the tool will speed your way through tedious and complex design tasks. OrCAD Professional or any of the layout tools that we have, they're proven, they're scalable, they're easy to use for editing and routing solutions. We have a complete solution for this set of tight application integration and a comprehensive feature set that we have. Constraint Manager allows real-time validation on your designs, whether you're routing, looking for DFM, for placement violations. We have intelligent automation and interactive place and route editing. And dynamic shapes and technology also offer real-time copper pouring and healing. You don't have to wait to re-pour your designs like you do in the pads tool. We also support IPC, 25A step models, IDX files, which is very important for the intelligence and the integration of our tools. We are best in class in performance. We have intelligent place and route, constraint management, design reuse. We have 3D visualization and interactive routing with the PCB layout tools. We also have the SPECCTRA OrCAD router for those of you that want to be able to use some auto routing as well. We're going to increase your productivity with our shape-based auto router can quickly complete even the most complicated designs with a high degree of completion. Fully integrated, so the SPECCTRA route engine is tightly coupled with the PCB tools, allowing you design data and constraint information and route and update seamlessly while you're designing. And the flexibility also, easily choose the areas of the design you want to route and lock down, so you have full interactive routing with this tool. We also have added rigid flex to the tools. It comes standard with the tool. Complete system management to meet complex flex designs. If you guys are getting more and more companies are getting more into flex, It's all done by by a construction method. It's easy to use for design reuse and management of the entire design. So you can use different kinds of flex and bring those into your designs. And we bridge the gap between electrical and mechanical domains with our ECAD collaborator, which is CAD Sync. PCB 3D visualization. So we have full 3D visualization so that you can see what your design is going to look like, whether you're putting it into an enclosure or not. So we've got via and trace visualization for cross-sectional views, rigid flex for bending, independent flex regions, clearance and collision violation DRC that you can get online while you're designing the design. You also have 3D object-to-object measurements that allows you to measure from your step files or your 2D elements. And proper board thickness representation. You're actually going to be able to see what your design would look like if it was in real. Even the cover lays on the rigid flex material. And we have also full assembly views, so we can bring in step files like enclosures. We can add multi-boards onto it. So using STEP and IDX export allows us to be able to do that. We also have an array of signal integrity tools. So with those, like PCB SI, we can reduce the time to market by reducing the prototypes and the respins. We're design driven. The drive the design intent makes the analysis results that are embedded in the constraints to derive known and good interconnect requirements throughout the design flow. We also explore and validate, take advantage of pre and post signal analysis capabilities to explore and manage and validate interconnects at any stage of the design cycle. We're OrCAD integrated, like I tell you. We eliminate the need to translate designs. We can just go right into signal integrity, right from the schematic or into the layout tool. And then we have extensive model support, so we can speed up the time to simulation with the support of all the latest industry standard IBS formats and models, generic models, and custom built models as well. There's also an array of other tools that you can purchase. These are all options, but should you need more kinds of simulation tools, whether it's DC drop, or DC analysis, or ECD, we have all the capabilities of the signal integrity tools. PADS PC design rules. So this is one of the differences with our tools. With the PADS tools, if you're in there and you're trying to create all of your constraints, they have tons of pull-down menus. It makes it very difficult to be able to find, what rules you made. If you have to go back and change them, this gets pretty tedious with all those design rules. So we feel like we have something better to offer with our Constraint Manager. It's intuitive. It's a simple spreadsheet. An Excel spreadsheet looking interface makes it easy to add and review and track your design constraints. It's comprehensive. Its specific design intent was full support, of electrical and physical and spacing rules for differential pairs or critical nets. Again, it's fully integrated so that you can be in the design, click on a net, it'll pull you into where there is in the constraints. Interface aware is easily and accurately communicate with your intent with their constraint relationship visualization tools and unique step wizards that we offer. PCB aware, it's synced with PCB implementation. At the touch of a button, you can import stack data, import other design rules, so that's very easy. And then it's also reusable, so you can share your common restraints from one design to the other. So this makes it a lot easier when you're designing your boards to put in your constraints and then pass those on, whether the engineer puts them in or whether the PCB designer puts them in. This allows everybody to be able to see what those constraints are very easily. Cross-probing. So one thing is you cannot cross-probe between OrCAD and PADS. There are a lot of engineers out there or companies that are that design in OrCAD, but then they lay their boards out in PADS. One thing that I always try to sell service bureaus is take your OrCAD into Logic and then you can do PADS, but the problem with that with service bureaus is every time they got a new schematic, they'd have to do translation. So it's kind of a monotonous thing to be able to cross-probe with OrCAD and PADS. But we have the full cross-probing tools that are built in with our tools, whether you're in the schematic or you're in layout or in the auto router or the interactive routers. Should you be in 3D and need to be able to select a part on the 3D and also grab it in the schematic or whatever tools that you've got up on your windows and your layout. Constraints, simulation, and documentation. Even the documentation has got cross-probing. And then there's PartQuest. So Mentor uses PartQuest. This is nice. It's a nice little tool tied in with DigiKey, but it's just one tool that's tied into one distributor. We feel like we offer a better solution with that with our OrCAD CIP. We've got component data management that you're going to be allowed to use. It's intuitive. It provides real-time access to our distributors, the millions of parts that are available. We have a starter library that we give you, and we can also, inside of that tool, we can manage the roles of the employees so that they only have certain access to the tools, whereas you have an administrator, maybe a librarian, that has all the access to all the roles that are in there. So you can set those up. We are compliance-driven designs to solve supply chain issues before they occur as you get into manufacturing. Inside OrCAD or over the web, you can view or manage your component data, whether you're in OrCAD, the tool, or whether you're doing this, via the web. And then we also offer error-free BOMs. We can ensure critical component data such as part numbers, value, price, quantity on hand, RoHS compliant. So all these features that we have are available in the CIP tool. This is what it looks like. Here, you're able to save time and resources by easily adding and maintaining components. You can speed up component research by integrating access to all the different distributors that we have available and the suppliers. You can keep your design developing moving. There's no reason that engineers need to wait for a librarian to build a library part. They can select the part, put it into a temporary library, and keep working, and then wait for the librarian or whoever's the admin of the software to be able to lock those components into the standard library. And it uses a single common tool to enable professional and librarians and non-engineers to be able to use the porthole. Again, whether you're in the tool itself or whether you're using the web. Also comes, which is what I like to tie together with CIP, is CIS, and it's going to allow you to maintain your library and for engineers to make better part selections when they're looking for components. Again, we have the zero-touch BOM generation, so we can generate the BOM at any time during the design. We have design data verification to be able to check out those components to make sure that they're even available. We've got BOM variants that we can use. Should you have like a main board and need to create different BOMs for maybe you have a main motherboard or something like that, but you populate it different. So we can help you with creating that in the schematics. And the ease of new part introduction and replacements is there, available for librarians. And it's a centralized library, so it can be leveraged by all the users that are using the CIS CIP tools. Inside of there is also Silicon Expert. So this is important. A lot of people use just Silicon Expert. We have it tied into our tools so that when you are searching for components, or maybe you have a BOM, for example, and you want to check out that BOM and make sure that it's all the components are available for purchase. So we are tied in with the Silicon Expert, so we do have a compliance module, as well as a Silicon Expert Connect BOM risk. So it's going to go in there. It's going to verify the parts that you're going to use for production. You're going to be able to make part decisions and identify issues that you might have for cost or availability online. And because it's powered by Silicon Expert, you're going to gain access to the same part data, that the supply chains have and the professionals that use it. So this is really important when you're, not only picking the parts for your design, but you want to make sure that they're going to be available when you finally go into manufacturing. We have an OrCAD library builder. So this is going to eliminate hours of manual entries with data sheet extraction. We can take a data sheet and extract the information from that and create library parts. We can extract the pin tables and the diagrams very quickly and manage complex symbols with thousands of pins. We easily build complex footprints using a simple calculator style interface, and promotes the ECAD MCAD collaboration with the 3D models and the development that we have. And you're going to eliminate a lot of library part errors, with these comprehensive checking and verification tools that come with it. So that's a real nice feature with the OrCAD Library Builder. We also have Ultra Librarian, which allows you to accelerate the decision making on components. You can go to Ultra Librarian. I think there's something like 14 million parts in here that you can search for. It will have your schematic symbols. It will have your footprints, and it will also have your step models as well. This is being used more and more. I'm starting to see now from a lot of users. It can check the stock, the pricing, the electronic specifications. You can download the symbols very quickly. Like I said, the footprints, 3D models, and the schematic symbols as well. Everything is built to industry standards, and it's vendor neutral, because we support up to 20 different CAD formats. So you don't just have to be an OrCAD user to use this. We can tie into other tools that you may have. So I highly recommend the Ultra Librarian for OrCAD. It's also got a comprehensive search and filtering options as well, so it's very easy to look for components and find them quickly. Accelerating new product design, this is important when you're laying out your boards. When you're getting ready to go to manufacturing, you want to check to find out if you've got manufacturing errors. We have a really nice DFM tool, DFM Checker. It's rule set driven. It's quickly defined reusable rules that you're going to set up in your design. Error charting, so we can chart the errors that are going to happen per your design. We've got a PCB assembly analysis tool to be able to check your solder and your paste mask and your silk screens to identify manufacturing problems. It's integrated with the PCB editor so that when we find those errors, we can go straight to where they are in the design tool. And the fabrication analysis is easy to identify such issues that we might have with acid traps or annular ring problems or slivers or things like that, double drills. So it's nice that we have this tool that's available with the OrCAD layout tools. We also have a documentation editor, very intuitive. It's a design desktop application style. It's got a tight integration with the editor or schematic or for the cross probing. We've got intelligent automation, so it's going to save you hours. When you're creating your documentation, you can have layer stack ups. It's just a much easier tool to use than where it's in the pads tool. All your documentation's built in. It's very, very tedious creating assembly and drill drawings. We've made that much easier to make. Also eliminate all the manual drawing that you're going to be needing. And then we also have design changes are very easy to make. So if someone makes a design change, the tables are going to change for your drill symbols and the quantities, or maybe the dimensions. So all the design changes are made very quickly and easily. We also have a panel editor as well if you're doing your own panelization. There's a panel wizard, easy ECOs, perform fast engineering. Change orders can be done really quickly. Should you change your design, we can quickly just push it into the panel editor, and it's going to change the designs that are inside there. So that's very easily to do. And then automatic array creation. So it's going to create, put the arrays in of the size panel that you decide that you want to use. And I'm sure that most of you are using your manufacturing and have a close relationship with them. Also available is a productivity tool that EMA created to make things a little bit quicker and faster. They've got like a polar grid, quickly and easily manage component placements with circular boards, label tuning, auto silkscreen component name and generation. There's a pad stack finder, which highlights pad stacks in the design by color, makes it easy to find what the different pad stacks that you have got. We can assign net to existing vias, change the signal or net names of an existing via without having to delete that via. Makes it nice so that you're not rerouting full signals. We can also, drafting utility, we can create shapes based on their objects rather than on the grid. So that's a nice feature to have. Rather than reading in DXF files all the time, we can create them in our productivity tool. And post-processing, so set the order and quickly, easily save and reproduce to match our manufacturing requirements. So we've got a lot of rules in there that we can set up very quickly and easily. And then there's the CAD Sync tool. So this tool here is going to allow you guys bi-directional and native integration between Cadence and SolidWorks. Automatically creates the SolidWorks step files that they're models that they're going to have. So if we've got the models already, we don't need to have them in SolidWorks. We can create them with our translation, and then those SolidWorks step files will already be in the SolidWorks tools. Components, areas, cutout, mounting holes, all that stuff can be sent across back and forth between OrCAD and SolidWorks. Very nice tool. They're constantly updating this tool, and it's quite a tool that I've noticed, being able to take your step files and then create those automatically into SolidWorks. I think that's a big advantage for that. And then we have OrCAD's Engineering Data Management, EDM. So with this tool, we're able to fully integrate projects, in a dashboard environment, so that you can eliminate the risk of multiple people in your designs, avoid errors and duplication of the effort of building traceable audit trails, so we keep track of who's been designing it, when they designed it, and then the changes that they've made to it. Like I said, it maintains a full version history of the design, can control the work in progress release, so that when we're ready to release this design, it'll go to the right people, the right departments. We can also assign page locking. So if you've got multiple engineers and you only want them working on certain pages of the schematic, we can assign them those. And we can edit and track symbol library management as well. So if an engineer is building some more parts or going into Librarian and downloading those parts, we can track and make sure we know who's adding the parts to the design. And this facilitates an IP reuse, being able to provide access to controlled views of current and previous design projects. So this is going to give us a good overview of where our designs are at, what documents are going to be needed for manufacturing, and we can control who is going to have access to those and when they have access to them. And then now I'm going to talk about here is the translation. This is what most people are interested in, and being able to bring your designs from pads into OrCAD or any of the Cadence products. So with the OrCAD solutions, you can be confident that we're going to bring over and have the right solution here. But there's 5 reasons why we want to be able to do this. We want to be able to secure the scalability of the future design. So we want to be able to, Cadence and OrCAD provide full scalability to PCB design solutions on the market that can seamlessly grow with the needs of the company. We want it to be affordable and flexible for these purchase models that you're going to be buying. We want to feel that OrCAD provides flexible pricing tiers, enabling design teams to access the capabilities they need at the price that they can afford. We have cutting-edge technology. OrCAD offers, like constraint driven. We have the latest DFM tools. So this is very important why you want to bring your stuff over into our tools. We're fully customizable, and you to extend and customize your design environment to meet your unique needs. We are the industry's best support product. We've won awards. We have an excellent support team should you have any problems. And the migration guide is available. So this is a website that you can go to download this migration guide, or you can just do a quick Google on pads to OrCAD, and it'll also come up in Google. You can pick, the OrCAD relation, and you'll be able to download this migration guide. So one thing that's important to remember, and I'll show you the migration guide when I finish here, is in order to bring designs in, so say Logic, or Designer into OrCAD, one of the things that it has to happen is Logic needs to be brought into DX Designer, and then from there we can create an EDIF file. So once their design is in Designer, it's easy to bring Logic into the, Mentor's Designer tools, and then translate that to an EDIF file. Once that EDIF file is created, then you're going to want to launch OrCAD and use the file import design, select that EDIF tab, and import your design file. So it looks like this. You're basically going to go to your pop-up window, tell them where the EDIF file's at, what you're going to save the name to, and then hit OK. And I'll show you this in a demo here. Here's the Mentor schematic that I took. I don't have all the Mentor software on my computer, but I was able to download some files, and I was able to create that on another computer of mine. But this is what I have. I have a Mentor schematic, and I'm able to get that into the OrCAD tools quickly and easily. I'll show you how to do that. And then we can also do the pads layout can be converted. One thing to mention, that you need to be in the 2005 ASCII format. So when you are in your pads tool, you want to make sure that you select the format and it's at the 2005 format. We can then take that format and bring that into our layout tools. Again, I'm going to create a new design in Allegro, for example, and then I'm going to go ahead and import and translate the pads design, which is the ASCII file. I'm going to do some mapping that's also available, and then I can bring that into the tool. There's also a database health monitor that's going to check your database to find out if you have any kind of errors that you had during the translation. So here's the pads layout tool. I'm sure most of you have seen this if you've had pads. I think it's in their sample directories, and I was able to bring that into the Allegro OrCAD layout tools as well. So you can see that it definitely comes across. We also can import pads libraries into OrCAD. So I'll show you in the documentation, but we can import, and then it'll ask for CAD translators, and then you go ahead and translate your libraries from the pads tools into the OrCAD tools. So we have that capability as well. So let's do a demo. I'm going to pop out of this PowerPoint here real quick. So the migration guide, like I talked about, is available. It's online. It's easy to download. Like I said, you can go to the OrCAD website or EMA website. You can download this. There are step-by-step instructions on what you need to do. So whether you're importing from Schematic data to OrCAD, whether you're going to go from the PCB data, whether you're going to go from the library, it's all in here. So how to sync things up, importing your pads library into OrCAD, step-by-step instructions into this guide. So this guide is available, and if any of you are out there with Altium, we have the same thing with the Altium tool. So this is available. It's easy to download. I highly recommend that you guys look at this. It'll, like I said, give you step-by-step instructions. One of the things that I've done here is, let's go to the site. Here's the site I wanted to show you. So resources, OrCAD, here's where you can go ahead and you can download the migration guide. So what I have here is I've created a customer one directory, and inside that customer directory, I've got the files that were created from pads, a preview board, and a schematic here. I had already gone into, if I go into Schematic, I have an EDS file already that I created from Logic, and the PCB I created an ASCII file. So you can go ahead and do that. I'll talk about how we can do that, show you how that's done here. Let's say we have an EDS file that we created in Designer. We've put that into a directory, and now we're ready to bring that into OrCAD Capture. Very easy to do. We're going to go ahead and hit File. We're going to import. We're going to import an EDIF. We're going to point to where that schematic, that file's at. It's in my schematic directory. There it is. It'll save it in the same directory, and we have a configuration file that it generates as well. All I have to do is hit OK. There might be some errors or warnings that are available. It's going to go ahead and create my project for me. And then once that's done, I'll be able to take a look at my schematics. I can look at my it's a 2-page schematic. Here's my logic schematic. Here it is, and that's brought in. And then I also had a power page as well. So I can take a look at that as well. So now that's how easy it is to bring your designs in from pads right into the schematic capture. Now, as for the layout tool, let me go back to my Explorer here. In here we have the PCB and we have an ASCII file that we generated in 2005 format. So that's going to be important. All right, in Allegro, the first thing we want to do is go ahead and we want to create a new project or new board. So I'm just going to call this test. It's going to create a new design. I don't really care about the board size. I'm going to go ahead and create that. So now we're into a project here, and now I want to come into import, and we're going to go to our translator, and we're going to go to pads, and we're going to select that ASCII file that we had. We're going to create an INI file here, and I'll just call this test. I'm going to go ahead and save that. And now we want to translate the design. It's going to go ahead and we can map layers in here, and you can set up stuff for copper and text, your decals and pads. So it's just a mapping layer. I'm going to create solder sides. I don't want to create teardrops. I'm going to remove those. Okay, once it's done with that, we go ahead and close it. Now it's going to have, if we go back to our schematic tool, it's created us all the design data that we need. And then we can come in and open, say no, and here's our preview board. And there it is, real tiny in here. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on that. And here's our design. The colors are not going to be set up properly, but I did go in and create a color chart. I'm going to go ahead and load that in so I have my color view. I had created one prior to this WebEx. And say okay, and then I can get the same colors that I have in the layout tool. So it's real easy to be able to bring in the design from OrCAD into layout, whether you're doing into pads, PCB OrCAD Editor, or the Professional, or any other tools. They all work the same, so it's real easy to be able to bring those in. And like I said, it's just go to the migration guide. It's going to take you step by step into that tools. And talk about some of the suites that are available. So we do have OrCAD Standard, we've got Professional, and you can go into the Allegro PCB tools. So these are the suites that are available to you, as well as if you're doing simulation. We also have, Pspice designer suites that are going to give you all kinds of functionality doing simulation as well. So that's important to understand that we have suites that will give you different kinds of functions. We have options that are available as well to the tools, and you can find those all on either OrCAD or EMA websites. Training is important as well. We offer different kinds of training. We do have a classroom hands-on training where we'll come and come to your facility. Things are a little tough with the pandemic, but a lot of people are using the live online training. We do have an e-learn training as well, so that you can go through that at your own pace. And then we can also set up custom training for you guys as well. So there's lots of options that are available to you should you need to learn how to use the tool. Should you have any questions and things like that, go ahead and you can give us a call or send for information at emaeda.com. But I am going to talk a little bit about what I've done that's a little bit different from most WebExes that we see. You will have the PowerPoint that's available to you, but what I did was I hid all the videos that I in here, because otherwise we would have been here for 3 days. So you can come in now. I will unhide these and make these available, but per each product, there will be let's say for the OrCAD Capture, there will be a video that you can watch that will explain all the features that are available to you. Should you need to know about the interactive SPECCTRA router, you'll have those capabilities. So for those of you that are still interested and want to know more about our products, like I said, what I've done, and you can get in touch with Brianna to get this, or this will be on our website. This PowerPoint will have videos attached to it. on all the products. So if you want, like I say, you want to know about, constraint management, I'm going to unhide all these and they'll be available, and you can sit there and listen to all the marketing and information that we have on each product. Towards the end of the translation, I did create a video here to step you through using the pads tools. So you can look at that video there, and it will help you when you're in pads or Logic or Designer on getting the right information. So I highly recommend all of you download this PowerPoint that's going to be available. And like I said, check out all the videos for all the different products that are going to be available. With that, I guess we can start and take some questions here.
Yeah, so our Q&A is open. So if you have any questions, please insert them into the chat now so we can ask Jeff. Our first question is, does the routing engine have phase matching routing assistance?
No, the phase matching you're going to get into the Allegro tool. It's much more difficult, but we do have the capability to be able to do that. So if you decide that you need that tool, you might want to start looking at the Allegro tool. I do see another question. Can you show the slide with the suites again? I sure can. Can older libraries be brought into CIS? Yes, we can take older libraries, convert those, and bring those in. We do that for companies, so we can help you with that. The library builder is an option. It's a question here. Is the library builder part of the standard license? That is an option that's available to you, as well as the DFM checker. Those are options that are available. Which license is it tied to, standard or professional? You can tie them to both. So whichever tool that you decide that you want to get into. The professional tools is pretty price conscious now. So for those of you who are looking for high density boards, I would definitely look at the professional tool. If you're getting into really high speed or RF technology, then you might want to look at the Allegro PCB tool. Another question, if I translate a pads PCB design into OrCAD with the existing schematic, can I cross probe? Yes, you will be able to cross probe between those two files. Does the design constraints in pads also get imported into OrCAD? It does not. So you're going to have to reset those up. And that's always been a problem when you go from one tool to the other. The constraints do not come with it. When translating from pads to OrCAD, are schematic and layout sync? Like I said, yes, they are. You will be able to cross probe those. Is there a way to convert pads board layout format into ASCII without pads? There is no way. You'll have to have the pads format. I'll give you a little secret. What you can do is go to mentor.com and you can download a 14-day eval license. That way you'll have access to the pads tool very quickly, and you could translate anything that you need to bring over. So there is a way for you to get the pads tool on a 14-day eval. Does the imported ASCII file maintain the electrical properties, intelligence, or is it graphic? No, it brings over all the properties of the tool. It just doesn't bring over the constraints. I think I've covered all the questions. Should we have any questions that weren't answered, we will go ahead and answer those via email. But take a look at this PowerPoint. Like I said, it's got lots of videos that I've attached to it that you don't have to be searching for those. I've built them into the PowerPoint. You can get in touch with us should you need any help translating your designs. We'll be glad to help you guys, whether it's your designs or your libraries. And should you need an eval or you want to start using our tools, please get in contact with us, like again, 800-813-7494, or get in touch with us at ema.eda.com, and we'll be able to get you the right information that's needed. I really appreciate everybody coming today. I think you're going to like the OrCAD tool. Like I said, I was a designer and used the pads tool for many, many, many years. I worked for Mentor as an AE for 14 years, and I really like the OrCAD layout tool, to be honest with you. It's very powerful, and EMA has done a tremendous job being able to handle libraries and design management along with it. So, give us a look, and thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeff. So before we sign off, I'd just like to remind you all that this webinar is recorded, and we will be sending out the recording and presentation slides within the next few days. And of course, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to us. And thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you everybody else for attending. I appreciate it.